Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And I'm
Roast.
Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new Dexter Resurrection theory. And this video is all about Angel Batista, someone who we both care about deeply. We love David Zayas. We're so glad that he's back on this show. But here's the bizarre thing about the greater Dexter universe. A lot of bad things happen to the people that you love. And I think we all have to be worried that something bad is going to happen to Angel.
Yeah, a lot of people at Miami Metro that have worked with Dexter are all dead. So, the fact that Angel is still around, it says a lot to the friendship that he's had with Dexter over all these years. Like, he has known Dexter since he was an intern, 20 years old, brought him in like he's family. But now we are at this point, so many years later, where Angel is on to Dexter and everything that is happening at this point. He doesn't have proof, but he's on to it. So we're here to talk about the big question of, is Angel the final boss? Is he the person who is going to end up taking down Dexter? If anyone's going to arrest him and make it stick, it has to be Angel, right? Like, it can't be an Angela is going to come in one season and, tie it all up. Nobody wants that. It has to be satisfying if we're going to have Dexter have consequences.
Yes, and that's something that's going to be really interesting for the show to dive into, but also something that's going to be really fun for us to dive into, including, what is Angel going to do? What methods is he going to take? Whether or not all of this is going to work out for him, because he's basically in the circus doing the high wire act at this point, where he makes one move and he's going to just fall all the way down and straight onto Dexter's table, perhaps.
Right.
We have to be worried about that. But okay, we do have a lot more to say here. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because if you guys did not know, we're here doing 3 Dexter Resurrection videos a week. We have reviews, previews, theories. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched and talked about the show so far with us. It has been so much fun, and we want all of you to be a part of the discussion.
Absolutely. It really helps us out here at the channel if you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And if you want to support us further, we have our Patreon. I'll link it for you below. Over there, we are covering the new Jensen Ackles show, Countdown, and we're also having more Dexter discussions over there as well. So thank you so much to everyone who has joined.
Thank you guys. We very, very much appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first and foremost, since you brought up Angela, I want to begin with the Angela of it all, because she's really the person who got Batista back on the case by saying that, Dexter, I believe he is the Bay Harbor Butcher, but then doing the whole walk out the room thing in the premiere.
I never said anything.
Yeah, like, okay, sure. And that is why, my first tinfoil hat here at this video, Angela's not done on Resurrection. I'm not sitting here and saying that she's going to be a permanent part of the show. Like, I don't believe that. But I think one of the things that Batista is inevitably going to do, he's got to go back to her and revisit this at some point, whether he gets more evidence or whether or not he's just second guessing things enough. If he is a good cop, then he knows that people take back their confessions all the time. Why wouldn't he question, okay, Angela, why did you say this, and then change your mind?
That has to be one of the moves. She was so sure when she made that call to him, and he is having a really hard time believing that she's walked it back. And he has been a detective for a very, very long time. So this is not the first time that he's had people say, hey, I know something. Actually, I don't know anything, and back out the door. So is he going to actually then be able to revisit it with Angela at some point later, when maybe he's been able to find some proof to then bring Angela back and be like, listen, I have actual legitimate proof, and with your testimony and this proof, he'll be actually put away, where then Angela might say, okay, because if it's just her testimony, he may still walk.
Yeah, that's something Angel's very acutely aware of at this point. If he's been this seasoned of a detective, he knows it's got to stick. And that's why it's a really dangerous line he has to walk here, because he needs more information but he needs more information without Dexter becoming fully aware of it, which is why it might not be until later this season that Angela potentially returns. It might not be until a possible season 2, depending on how long they take with some of this stuff. But one other thing that's really come out of the first couple of episodes again is quote unquote Jim Lindsay. And I think what makes this interesting and what personally I really want here is that we know Dexter used a fake name in Iron
Mhm.
Lake. If you're Batista at this point, why would you not want to try and track every place that Dexter went from Miami to Iron Lake? Because we know he had the lumberjack phase. He probably had some other phases in between, and see what sort of information you can gather. See what sort of evidence. Now, we know from Dexter in New Blood what he may or may not have done in some of that missing time, but is
Mhm.
Dexter a reliable narrator to his own past actions? Like, even if he is, it's like Batista doesn't know any of this.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot for Batista to follow up on, which is why, while I think that Angel will be the final boss at the end of the whole series, and it feels
Yeah.
like we've got many series that they are planning many more seasons of this, but when they get to like the final series finale, that they will do it right, hopefully. Not that I want to see Dexter not off living on a yacht somewhere, but because he is a killer and he is killing people, but he's also killed some innocent people, I think he's probably going to end up having to pay for his crimes. And it feels like Angel has to be the person that does that. So I think that this storyline with Angel is going to be a very slow burn over all the seasons. That while Dexter's doing whatever Dexter's doing, Angel is going to be continuing to try to get some evidence together, because a lot of the people that either knew about Dexter or had ideas about Dexter, Deb, Maria, everybody's dead. So there's not a lot of ways to really gather testimony anymore, at least from those people. He just has, what Maria said. You know what, Dexter? Maria told me she thought that you were the Bay Harbor Butcher, and she told me in confidence. Okay, well, great. Maria's not alive anymore. So how do you really use that as any type of real testimony? Now it's just Angel could make up anything that Maria said. Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? I really love snow cones with bananas on them. Okay, well, did she? Well, nobody knows,
Yeah.
right?
All he's got is hearsay. He's just got a lot of secondhand information of things that people said. And, he's very good at his job. But this is where Angel needs the Dexter Avengers. He needs to assemble a team. He needs allies, people who can do some work for him that Dexter may not know or may not know to have his walls up. Or even if they are people Dexter knows, just
Yes.
more faces that are out there. Now, obviously, if we're going down the direction of, okay, who can Angel get to help him? Like, it's inevitable that we're going to bring up the idea of, could Quinn be back?
Right.
Could Masuka be back?
Right.
Like, there are people from the original show who are still out there.
Absolutely. There are still some of Miami Metro. The OG is still alive. And I feel like he would bring in those people, but I do think that he's also going to work with Teddy. We did see him trying to get a little bit of information out of Teddy. Yeah, Teddy might be like this right now, where
Yeah.
he wouldn't think that Dexter would do anything, but Angel was like that as well. Angel is a really good detective and didn't see Dexter for what Dexter was, because when they first met, it was like, hey, you're part of the family, you're a really young guy, you're interning here, we're watching you grow with Miami Metro, your friends, your family, your everything. That it took a while for Angel to get there as well, and I think that he can bring Teddy there as well.
I feel like I'm about to sound like Stephen A. Smith in like the halftime
Mm-hmm.
show of a basketball game
Mm-hmm.
and be like, all right, Teddy, it's time for you to step up in the
Right.
second half and go out there and make more. Teddy, you just seem like you're the kind of cop right now who's clocking in, clocking out, and going home and playing Call of Duty or doing something like that. It's just like, we need you to do something more. But I do agree that Teddy is someone who's a very clear possible candidate for this. But beyond all that, we also have, we've seen the super cop in New York. We've seen other police officers there. But the problem that could come up with all of them is this idea. Let's say Batista goes to them and they're just sort of like, okay, yeah, sure. We know you're a police officer, but you're not from here. You don't have the jurisdiction that we necessarily have. And beyond all of that, You want us to use our money and resources to take on something that was seemingly resolved like well over a decade ago?
Yeah, but I think he might be able to squeeze that door open just a little bit because they are investigating what was going on with the murder at the hotel that was Harrison. And while, this wonderful super cop doesn't know yet, I feel like she's going to figure it out. She's figured out quite a bit very quickly, was able to pick up on Harrison, even just looking shifty and looking around and being like, oh, that guy needs to come in for questioning. He works here. Great. Bring him in. She's just so intuitive and she's so quick on things. And Angel has information that she doesn't have, which is the connection with Harrison and Dexter. So if he's looking into Dexter, she's looking into, she doesn't know yet, but it is Harrison, that she can then, with him, maybe figure them both out. And they're both in trouble.
Now, okay, here's another tinfoil hat possibility, though, we have to consider. Is Batista going to try to flip Harrison and make Harrison one of his allies? Because
Right.
Harrison did almost kill Dexter. So it's just
Mhm.
like we can't go into the rest of the season with this assumption that, okay, they're going to spend this time together. Everything is going to be hunky dory. Yeah, just because Harrison has a part of Dexter within him, he might still actively try to reject that. And he might think at this point, okay, if I can't kill Dexter for whatever reason, here is an alternative. Here is a way for me to actually put this guy away.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Harrison that I like about Harrison much more than I did watching him in New Blood. He was
Mhm.
not my favorite character there, but he's growing on me here. And part of it is because, yes, he has his own dark passenger. I mean, we know that Dexter has his, and Dexter thinks that they're alike. And they are, but they're not. So, you've got Dexter over here. He's got his dark passenger where he kills people for the joy of it. It's something that he needs to make him feel anything because Dexter has said over and
Yes.
over again, I don't feel anything. And that's why even in the premiere where he's like, oh man, it's my son. I could cry if I could cry. It's like this. He knows that he can't feel the way that Harrison does. So Harrison is able to kill. He was able to shoot his father. He's able to kill this guy, but he is feeling tremendous guilt over it. He's feeling shame over it. There's all kinds of other feelings that while he's capable of doing these things, he doesn't actually seem to feel great about it. He doesn't feel exhilarated. He's not feeling happy about it. These ghosts are all haunting him, but we've actually seen him, and to me, it feels very genuine. The connections that he's made with people. We've seen Dexter for years pretend to have connections with people. And while a lot of people feel that they're genuine, watching it because we know they're not genuine, we're able to kind of pick on some of the things that he's doing and expressions on his face where he's like, "Oh, I know I should feel something right now. I guess I'll smile then." And we see that process on him. That's not happening with Harrison. We see the relationship he's got with the other woman in the hotel where it feels very, flirtatious and genuine. The relationship even that he has with her son. Hey, let's read some stuff. Oh yeah, I brought this comic book. Let's go. Like there's real joy that you see with Harrison and other people. And that makes me very excited about Harrison because while he has his own dark passenger that he is willing and capable of killing, he doesn't feel great about it.
No, I don't think he feels like he has to. He did it in this instance in the first two episodes because it felt like it was the right thing to do in that moment
Right.
because he was saving a woman from something terrible. So he's a
Right.
different person than Dexter in that way. And I think Batista, he is still at his core a similar guy to who he was on the original show.
Right.
He's a lot more jaded now. He's experienced a lot of tragedy. He's probably gone through a lot that we haven't seen in the years since the original, but I think Batista's strongest skill set, and it's his social game. It's his ability to get people to like him, to sort of
Yep.
infiltrate different environments. And this is why, even if Batista doesn't necessarily flip Harrison, I could see in the next few episodes him, approaching Harrison, becoming sort of pals with him, or even showing
Yes.
up at Dexter's neighborhood, introducing himself to Blessing, be like, hey man, I'm kind of moving to this spot. Can I come to the party? And doing these things that it is impossible for Dexter to remove him from this world, or even with Harrison, he could create a situation here where Batista clearly does not fit the code. You can't just get rid of Angel because you want to, unless you're completely betraying everything Harry wanted. And I think the biggest thing that Batista can do right now is make himself so obvious that he can't really disappear.
Yeah, Angel's secret ingredient is charisma. He is very good at making people feel comfortable, safe. You want to tell him stuff. You want to hang out with him. You want Angel to be your friend. You want him to
Yes.
be your family. And he makes people feel included in that way immediately. It's a very special talent that not many people have, and he has it naturally. So I do think that Harrison's going to play that role where there will end up being a bit of a push and a pull with Harrison and Dexter and Angel, where they're going to be pulling him in different directions. And because Harrison is somebody who is feeling badly about what he's doing, yeah, he's capable, he'll do it, but he doesn't feel great about it, that is really going to pull him in these two different directions, where he'll probably develop a pretty good relationship with Angel, someone
Yes.
that it's the time where he chooses the two roads, right? Is he going to go with Dexter, his biological father, who is going to take him down a darker road? He already knows it. Or is he going to go over here with Angel, somebody that might want to take him under his wing and get him on a better road?
Yeah, and I think that's something that Angel, even if he has an ulterior motive, I think he's just innately that guy that he would want to do that for Harrison because
Yeah.
he's a good guy. Like, out of all the people in the Dexter universe, Angel is one of the very few who I wish was a real person and I could be friends with, because most of these other people, they are all dark passengers in their own way, but he's just very affable, very, very likable. And I think having him be that sort of final boss that you've talked about, it's the perfect thing for Dexter Resurrection. It's just, this is the part I'm a little bit worried about. It's just, please, Clyde Phillips, don't kill him off this season. Don't kill him off next season. It's just,
Don't kill him off at all. You
no.
don't have to keep killing off Miami Metro. You've done it enough times.
Yeah, I'm worried, like, how long can you sort of realistically have this story go? And I hope it's
The
at,
whole time.
I hope so. I hope it's a spot where Angel sort of tells Dexter, you know what? I forgive you. I know what you've done, but I know why you're doing it. I don't want him to mean it, obviously, but I just hope that he can do something to make Dexter feel like, you know what? Even if he knows the truth about me, he's still not going to come after me, because that will buy us some time. And that's really all I want right now.
Yeah, if they kill Angel, I feel like the whole fandom is just going to go up in flames. People are going to be extremely mad about it, and I don't think they're going to go that way with it. The thing that I think that can make it realistic that Angel is after him for all the seasons that are going to be coming up is that he's not really going to be able to get proof of what he did in the past. Like I said, everybody's dead. A lot of the evidence is gone. It's long been, the case is done, sort of thing. The evidence is all over Dokes. I think that there's just not enough evidence to actually get Dexter on it. But if Dexter's killing new people, then Angel can look into that, and that he, over years and over seasons, will be able to collect evidence along the way to be like, okay, I couldn't get you for Dokes and, you know, what's happened to Maria with Deb and all that, everybody that's there, Lundy, all of it, but I can get you for this. My concern is if they are going to kill him off this season, that Dexter's not going to want to get that blood on his hands, and that he might try to recruit somebody out of this killer circle to do it for him.
Okay, if that happens, we are all taking to the streets. We are all
We ride
going-
at dawn.
Yes, like I would be so infuriated. I do not want Angel to be killed off by some rando. I do not care if that rando is played by Barney Stinson, aka Neil Patrick Harris. None of it
Or
matters.
David Dismulgin.
Yeah, like, none of it matters to me. I will be so unbelievably mad. So please, Dexter, don't go that route. I will just say, though, in general, I'm so unbelievably happy right now. Like, I really like every single storyline that Resurrection has brought so far. You know how rare that is. I mean, you talked about donuts and Harrison earlier on.
Yeah,
I love donuts. This show right now is
you
the
do.
equivalent of me walking into not a big fancy chain donut. I like those, like, mom and pop donut shops where you go in and the smell hits you in the face and you've got like some, you got some apple donuts over here, you got the chocolate glaze over here, and you don't know what you want. Like, that's me right now. Like, I don't know which donut I should reach for first because I like all of these stories.
I know the donut that I don't want is the $6 donut where Angel dies. That's
Okay.
all I know.
Listen, we don't need no $6 Angel Dice hipster donuts here in this place, but let us know in the comments. Do you think that Angel Batista is the final boss? How do you think he's going to catch Dexter if he does catch Dexter? Or
Hmm.
do you think Clyde Phillips, we're looking at you and do the Dokes thing. Are you really going to kill him off? Like, let us know all your thoughts, your theories. Hit that subscribe button. Support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description. We're covering their countdown exclusively in video
Hmm.
form. Thank you guys so much. We will see you here next time.